Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
Well, welcome back to the show. We are joined once again by Jesse Lee here. Excited to talk to him about his life coaching and consulting services that he offers worldwide. Based out of Bridgeport, Connecticut, he's back with us today to talk about mindset. But before we get to the topic, Jesse, tell us a little bit about yourself, please.
Yes, hello, my name is Jesse Lee. I'm a life skills coach, an education coach, a spiritual coach, and I offer other services to help people with everyday challenges and their needs.
Perfect. And how can we reach out to you?
My website is leescoachingconsulting.com. My email is jlee, L-E-E, number 2, W-I-N at gmail.com. And my phone number is 203-526-2914.
Perfect. And today's topic of mindset, let's just start with the basic definition. What is mindset? People may have heard the term. Break it down for us, the definition of what mindset means, and then we'll elaborate on that.
Okay, awesome. So mindset is actually a control of your thoughts. Okay, they either can be negative or positive. So a positive mindset, you have a greater outlook on life, you're excited, you want great things to happen. A negative mindset is, you're thinking about pain, you're thinking about frustration, you're thinking
Yeah.
about guilt. So we actually have a decision to have our mindset the way that we want it to have to be. So
Hmm.
yes. So we control our thoughts, which we don't know it or not. We have the power today to control our thoughts, Jill.
I love that. Well, thank you for sharing that because not everybody knows that. And they think, how do I get stuck? Why am I stuck? What am I doing wrong? But hence, you're here as a life coach to kind of dive into this whole process of mindset. And we're going to also move on to just one. Unfortunately, my computer is stuck. So that's why I'm trying to find the next question about mindset. Would you mind just
No
elaborating till I
problem.
get it back? Thank you.
Okay, no problem, no problem. Yeah, so what we struggle with, Jill, is, and I know a lot of people struggle with this, what voice do we listen to? And it is so difficult to find the right voice to listen to. And me
Hmm.
and me being spiritual, I pray, I have that personal relationship with God. So in order for instead of me listening to the logical voice, I listen to more the spiritual voice.
Okay.
And that's where the soul dwells, which explains the seat of your emotions. How do you feel? What is your intuition? What is your gut feeling?
Hmm.
So the different things that you feel
Are.
emotionally in your body, Jill, anxiety, stress, all that tension that's happening. Like last night, it was a weird day. But anyway,
For you
so
personally?
yes,
You
yes, yes,
okay?
yes, yes,
You
yes,
got
yes.
through? All right,
Yes,
good.
I got through it, but what we don't understand is when we focus on something negative so
Uh,
long, it affects our health, Jill.
it sure
You
does.
understand? And
Hmm.
and and that's when the headaches come in. That's when the different things come in. Got to take Tylenol. We're trying to figure out what's going on. It's because we're focusing on something that we can't control at the time. And if you're thinking too hard, that means that okay, let's slow down.
Yep.
The three things: let's stop, let's think, and
And
let's breathe.
sounds so easy, right?
It's look,
Perfect.
it sounds easy, but it's not easy, right?
Okay. Got it. Well, that's why we need someone like you, a life coach can help assist with refocusing your mind, right? And
Yes,
yeah, we
yes.
want to talk about that and of course, deciphering the voices in our heads.
Okay. Now, how do we decipher the voice in your head, right? Okay.
Good
Because
question.
let's say it, and we always, I don't know if you know this, Jill, on TV, they always have the two guys, right? The devil on one side and the angel on the other side, right?
On the shoulders. Yep. Hmm.
It's so funny because things that we're going through and decisions that we're making, and when people do stuff to us, now we have a chance to think first
Hmm.
and and to figure out how we're going to react. Are we going to act that little devil inside and say, why are they doing this to me?
Yeah.
How dare they? Or we gotta respond to the angel part and say, let me be empathetic to the person needs. Let me see what is actually going on with the person, and maybe I can try to understand this. And even if I don't understand it, don't let me jump down their throat. Don't let me be
Hmm.
so anxious and upset and anxiety builds up because that's not going to do anything to us because we're not going to think clearly, right?
So true. That
Yeah.
is true.
So, in order for you to get that inner voice, and this is what I do, Jill, it's what I feel in my heart.
Your
And it's
gut
it
intuition
yes,
in a
yes, yes.
sense.
And
Okay.
and it sounds kind of weird, but we were all raised differently, right?
Hmm.
And our parents raised us differently, but there's something that's inside of us, which is that spirit that dwells inside of us that cause us to get a connection to something other than physical.
True.
So now when we are not physical and we're spiritual, now we're able to think outside the box. Now we're able to understand things. And Jill, sometimes, which I learned, it's okay to say sorry to someone when someone's doing something wrong.
Ah, that's
You
interesting.
get what I'm
Right?
saying?
Yeah.
It, it's so funny, Jill, because even with our little children, sometimes we get frustrated.
Ah,
Sometimes we're like, why are you not doing what I told you to
beyond belief.
do?
Yep. Yep. You get it. Yep. Hmm.
And the thing about it is the child is like, well, you didn't have to talk to me like that, or you didn't have to respond like that. And then the child is frustrated, and then you're frustrated, and then you're trying to get the child to do something, but the child is just looking at you like you're the bad guy, right?
Yeah.
So it's okay to apologize to the child because the child is not at the developmental level to really understand the right way to go. And that's why you have to be there to guide them and to show them the positive way of doing things. So when they get older, they don't have a problem with apologizing. They don't have a problem with saying, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to do this. I didn't mean to react that way. And Jill, when you say sorry and I something just falls off your back, it's like all the stress is just off because all the guilt that you have inside internally, a lot of us have guilt, right? So when we have arguments with our spouse, when we have arguments with our children, when we have arguments with our loved ones or our friends or our coworkers, internally we are guilty. And we
Yeah.
don't know why we're guilty. We don't even have to say anything, but we're just guilty of just getting into that debate and that dilemma. Yes.
It's so true. My goodness. You're bringing up some great points here. Again, we are talking about mindset with Jesse Lee, our coach, and we're also going to ask a little bit about our brains, right? Tell us about that because there's some strategies can help us a little bit in a sense. You say slow down our brain and our mind.
Yes, yes. And you know what, Jill? The and biologically, okay, it's the left hemisphere and the right hemisphere, right? So it's the two parts of the brain works differently. One part is more visual, is able to see things more, they're able to see it and they more kinesthetic. They want to see it, they want to identify it. And then one part is logical. Okay, they want to make the decisions. They want to figure out things right away. They want to do the research. They want to be analytical. All those things, right? Um, but the problem is we're not. It give us a hard time sometimes to settle those two things and kind of bring them together. Okay, so I am here to kind of rewire the brain, and I want you now to be confident in yourself. That's the first thing. Be confident in yourself. You can do anything. With all things are possible with God. So you can do anything. So when I'm rewiring the brain, now I'm focusing on what are you thinking about most throughout the day? And that thing that you're thinking about most throughout the day, is it really benefiting you? And are you really becoming successful? And are you making progress in life? Okay, those are the questions, right? So now, whatever you think about throughout the day, I'm going to analyze, are you progressing over the 12-week period, right? So let's say, and I'm spiritual, I love God, I love people, things like that, right? And Jill, it's so funny because my grandmother, which is my spiritual advisor and Prophet
Oh,
Miles,
I know you talk highly of her. What's her name?
Prophet Sadie Lee Miles.
Okay.
Okay. It's so funny because she's so energetic, right? And full of youth. And she has this song that's it always rings in my head. And she just struts around and she said, I thank ya.
Aw.
Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. So it's like a ring to it, right?
Oh my
So
God, that's
throughout
adorable.
yeah, so throughout the day, internally, I'm just thinking about it and I'm just rocking and I'm just smiling because my grandmother, that energy that dwells inside of her is giving me the energy now to be
Mm-hmm.
stronger, right? And to laugh like internally. So when I'm smiling and when I'm laughing, I'm rewiring my brain indirectly without me even knowing it. And now I'm positive.
Wow.
You get what I'm saying? You get me?
I'll get you. Oh, I love
Okay.
it.
Okay. So this is the thing here, and I am here. Okay, now if I don't see progress within 12 weeks, and 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 I'm testing your brain out, what are you
Mm-hmm.
thinking about? Are you thinking about your loved one? Are you thinking about your health? Are you thinking
Mm-hmm.
about your finances? Are you worrying about your finances? Different things like that. How do I know this, Jill? I see you face to face, and I feel your energy and your feedback, right? So I'm talking to you, and indirectly, I'm already seeing somewhat what are you feeling and how are you feeling.
I
So
agree.
now, after the session, now I'm going to work on strategies of how to fix and rewire that brain of me seeing that joy that's
Yeah.
inside you that I can feel the energy with.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, yes.
Oh, I love it. It's true. You can kind of sense that from someone just by looking. I think that's why I like doing Zooms. Well, I'm asking, well, for coaching purposes, do you prefer doing a Zoom or in person compared to just over the phone? I mean, I know you could do both.
You know what? It's good to do face to face, Jill.
I agree. I
Zoom
agree. You get to see.
Zoom face to face, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because you really see what my reaction about things, right?
Yeah, too.
And
And vice
and
versa.
and
Yeah.
and I can see what's your reaction, and I can also feel, okay, this person may be sleepy, this person may be thinking about things, this person their mind might
Let's
be
retract. Let's
wandering. You
refocus
kind of
them.
get what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
now let's say, okay, Jill, well, how are you doing? That's just a simple question, right?
Yeah. Eye contact, I think, is the best. I agree
You
with
got
you on that.
I love eye contact, Jill. Even when I call somebody, don't be looking on your phone. I want you to look at me eye to eye because I want you to now connect with my spirit so then we can talk and we can digest information.
Beautiful. Well, let's talk about retraining our mind, as you say, to think positive and to build confidence, right? Um, and of course, as we just mentioned, spirituality is a great thing. By the way, how old is your grandma?
My grandmother is 92.
God bless her. Oh my
Oh
goodness.
my
Does she live
goodness.
close by to you or?
She lives in Norwalk. I visit her
Okay.
once a week and she has more energy than I have. She
Amazing.
she actually do gardening, all that work and different things like that. So I just love her energy, and it's because of Jesus Christ and her philosophy in the spiritual realm.
Beautiful. All right, all right. Thank you so much. So yeah, the next thing we're talking about retraining the mind, bringing positivity into it, right?
Okay, retraining, right? So now you're
Yes.
gonna wake up in the morning, right? And you're gonna look in the mirror and you're gonna look at yourself. And then you're gonna say, I am someone special. You're gonna look at yourself and you're gonna say it, right? I can
Yeah.
do all things.
Yeah.
I am
Mm-hmm.
strong. I am mighty. I am powerful. I am a
Mm-hmm.
great decision maker. These things is not going to come inside you until you repetitively do them,
Mm-hmm.
because the more you do them now, the more those words are going to sink into you and be embedded into you.
Yeah.
And now, as they're embedded into you, now you're going to be more confident
True.
and now you're going to be more successful. And no one has to tell you now. No one has to say, "Oh, you're great. I like what you're wearing. You're beautiful," because you're saying it in the mirror. And this only takes 5 minutes, okay? Do it 5 minutes, then reflect. get a journal, talk about the things that you liked yesterday that went on. Talk about the things that you want to go on today.
Mm-hmm.
And Jill, this is the thing here, and this is what I've been focusing on because we improve in all areas, right? Every day I'm improving. I focus on focus, okay? Attention. So things and duties you have to do, stay focused. Don't let your mind wander. Don't look at Sally. Don't look at your child because sometimes their energy will trigger your progress, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So if you stay focused on one task at a time and you do it gradually, don't pick up people emotions because it's hard. It's easy to pick up people energy.
Yeah.
So as you keep that energy inside of you, that positive energy, and you focus on things, now you're able to give that energy to your loved one
Got
and
it.
different people. So your reservoir, okay, it won't be low at the end of the day.
I love that. Yeah, you're right. But we got to save some of that for us. We have to. But yeah, sometimes we have
Absolutely.
that low energy and you're here to help us reboost it. All right, keep going.
Okay,
Looking
so
for my water. Excuse me.
okay, no problem.
That was is not my water. Go ahead.
It's okay. It's okay. Now, Jill, over time, our mind tends to change and shift as circumstances starts to come in our life, new
Mm-hmm.
circumstances, new struggles, different things that may happen, right?
Yep.
So and it's evolving, but now we're thinking differently because different things is starting to develop in our life, and we're learning from people, we're learning our attitudes, we're learning our ways, different things like that. And a lot of times, a lot of us, it's hard to accept that we're changing,
Mm-hmm.
right? So the people that we once talked to or had discussions with, and the friends that we once had, now we don't have those friends. Now we don't have that connection. We're wondering why we're not the same person. We're wondering why this and why that. But the thing is, you don't know this, but developmentally you are growing. And when you go to certain
Yep.
levels, right? When you go to certain levels, now they always said different levels, new devils, right?
So true.
now,
So
now,
true.
now you're having different challenges, but now you're being linked with people that are like-minded like you as you're developing and growing. So you don't want to go down, but you want to accept the change. And it's okay to change. It's okay to
Mm-hmm.
think differently sometimes. So that goes with the mindset. Accept the change, be renewed, accept the change, and be renewed by the renewing of your mind. Think new things. Don't stay in the circumstance. Look at different things, observe different things. And as you observe different things, now you're developing and now you're being that flower. It's just budding, right?
Yeah, so
The
true.
old leaves are falling off, right, Jill? And now the new leaves is going.
You know what? The leaves are falling off here, I guess, like they are in Connecticut, right? With the fall. And
Absolutely.
you always look at spring as the new growth, but this is a new growth period too. It is, and I love the fall. I'm more of a fall person than a spring person or a summer person, but
Yes.
it makes you look at the changing of the seasons, which we are lucky to have in the Northeast. Not everybody does. Kind of reflect upon each and every few months in our life, in a sense. It's coming to another end, and now it's coming to a new beginning. You got to look at each
Yes.
thing
Yes.
differently, and I
Yes.
know
Yes.
again,
Yes. Yes.
mindset, keeping it positive to the good things to come for this season. And I'm sorry I'm
Yes.
on a tangent, but I love the fall. And you mentioned the
It's
leaves, so
okay.
it got me on a roll
I
here.
love it. I love it. I love it.
Yep. And clearly it affects my personality, right? Mindset.
Yes. 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 Yes.
Makes me happier
Absolutely.
in the winter, in the
Absolutely.
fall. Yes.
Absolutely. And what we don't understand, Jill, is you can become a millionaire within a second just by changing your mind.
Mm-hmm.
And I tell a lot of people this that I talk to and I coach that it's simple. Just make a decision. And
Yeah.
then after you make the decision, you're going to do the research. And then after you do the research, now you're going to make action into what you really want to do.
Yeah. Well, and let me ask you this because you mentioned a life coach can change a person's viewpoint for themselves, but what about other people's?
Jill, this is so tough because we have toxic people and we
Yeah.
have negative people that drains our energy so much. Sometimes
Yep.
we're always on E and we can't go to the gas station right away, right?
So true.
But it's all, and you can always point out something positive about somebody to kind of boost your mindset about that individual. That individual could have nice shoes that you always wanted, right? Or that individual could just have nice appearance, or they could just have good
Yep.
communication skills. Whatever they have, put that in your mind, and that internally makes you treat the person better because you like that quality about them.
Mm-hmm.
You get so focus on the good things. And it's hard sometimes because sometimes people push our buttons and they trigger us and they do different things and they manipulate us and they're malicious and they, all these different things they do behind our back. But if you focus on that, you're actually tricking them because you are maintaining your personality and you're being nice to them. So they have no reason now to respect you because you're being nice and you're understanding them as an individual. Leave them as they are. Don't change them.
Mm-hmm.
Don't try to change them at least, right?
I agree. I agree. I don't want to try to be changed. Do you want to try to be changed?
No, no, no. And you know what? Sometimes, Jill, what we want, and sometimes I have a hard time with this too, right?
Yeah.
What we want, we feel, or how we feel that person to feel the same way. And it's no in between sometimes, right?
I know. It's
But
hard. Yeah.
but now you gotta stop the brain. You gotta say,
Hey,
why is
yeah.
this person not thinking what I'm thinking? I'm trying to tell them something, right?
Yeah.
But on the other hand, is everyone have a different mind. Everyone has a different battle. Everyone can admit to different things and stuff like that, and don't approach things different ways. And we just have to try to respect that as the best we can, and regroup and just do the best we can in life internally. Think positive.
All
Think
right.
it spiritually, whatever you want to think.
So what type of affirmations, hit me positive affirmations or a scriptural context can we use to maybe help start motivating us today?
In Moses, God told Moses, I am that I am.
Okay.
Okay. God did not have to explain who he was
Mm-hmm.
because he knew his identity. Those words are so important because we need to be comfortable in our own skin.
Mm-hmm.
So when you think of I am that I am, now you're going to look in the mirror, you're going to say, I am special,
Yeah.
I am wonderful, I am powerful, I am beautiful, I can do anything. Accept who you are and be the real you.
Beautifully said. All right. Well, it's easier said than done for some people, right? Let's talk about the psychology behind all of this and how that also can play a role in affecting our minds, let alone our motivation.
Paranoia, delusional thinking, and this is where the mind shifts because sometimes we're not chemically imbalanced. So people that I talk to, I always say, sometimes you just need help to have those chemicals balanced, right? And sometimes, you know, natural supplements, different things like that, so your chemicals could be balanced, and so you could think clearly because those type of things which cause anxiety, depression, all those things now you're coping with it, but you need help with it. And how do you get help with it? Is by talking to someone on a consistent basis and dealing with those struggles. And when those things is trying to attack you, just focus and call somebody when you need help because sometimes you'll go haywire and you go crazy, and then that anxiety gets out of place. And now I am here to kind of let's do focal points. Let's take our time and let's try to change it. So if you do it together with someone, now individually you able to prosper and be successful because now you have a mentor, you have a coach, and you have somebody to guide you and retrain those negative thoughts that was once upon you. And those thoughts now are going to be positive because that person energy that is helping you is going on you. And internally now you're thinking positive.
I like this. This is good. Every week you bring up some great points and make me think, let alone our listeners think about this whole process of our mind and our mindset, which is obviously what we're here to do. Okay. All right. All right. We still got 2 minutes left. So how did
Okay.
you want to end off for today?
Jill, I'm telling you, this is what I say. Be patient. Silence your brain
Mm-hmm.
because your voices are the food
Okay.
that fills your faith and
Mm-hmm.
it fills your fear. That's what TD Jake said. And it just triggered me. I said, oh my goodness.
Yeah.
The voices are your food. They're your nutrition. They're your strength. It can either fill your faith or it can either fill your fear. And your fear is going to prevent you from going where you need to go. The negative fear, not the positive fear, but the negative fear.
Interesting. Thank you.
No
Thank
problem.
you. Thank you, Jessie Lee. And how does it work to work with someone like yourself? What do we do?
Well, you can go to leescoachingandconsulting.com. Please call me at 203-526-2914. You can do the consultation, but sometimes the website is kind of weird. So just give me a call, 203-526-2914, and we'll talk. We'll have a little bit, 15, 20-minute conversation, and we'll just figure out some things. It's a quick intake form, and that's it.
Perfect. All right. Thank you so much. Remind us how we can reach out to you, please.
leescoachingconsulting.com. My email is jlee2win@gmail.com. My phone number is 203-526-2914.
Perfect. Thank you so much for being here. As always, Jessie Lee, very inspiring. And when do you speak to your grandma? You speak to her every morning for your motivation. How do you do it?
I speak to her once a week. It's every Monday ritual, Jill.
Aww.
That we speak to each other and we just minister to each other and just go over different things in the Bible, and it gives me energy and it drives. And
She must be so proud of you to know what you're doing.
oh my goodness, she is very excited, and she's my greatest cheerleader, as well as all my family members.
Beautiful. Well, thank
Yes.
you again for being here, Jessie, and looking forward to next week. And keep it positive, keep it real, and keep happy. And God bless. Thank you so much.
God bless you, Jill. Have a good one.
You too, sweetheart. Thank you again. And happy hump day. Let's get through this week. We got this. Enjoy the fall.
Are you looking for even more of the podcasts and hosts that you love? The Podcast Business News Network is proud to announce that you now have even more ways to listen live. Check out the MyTuner Radio, online radio box, and Simple Radio apps on iOS and Android, or find us online. Search for Business News Network on mytuner-radio.com, or search Podcast Business News Network on streama.com and onlineradiobox.com/US. Take your podcast on the go and don't miss a minute of the action.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
Mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house. And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned. This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.